Welcome back, YouTube. So this, I think it's the third part in this
I wonder
recording
if I can
session.
drop any of this gear.
We've made it to the community hall on our Pleasant Valley to Coastal Highway trip. We're currently in the middle of a blizzard, so we may need to spend a little bit more time in this part of Pleasant Valley than I would otherwise spend on just a simple trip, quick trip through. Though part of this will end up doing be spent searching the two high value locations in the Pleasant Valley town. So right now we're in the community center, which is probably what I consider the higher value of the two spots. Though I think the ignition's more likely to be in the store than in here. Coming here early can be often very useful. It's a pretty common place to find a can opener.
This stuff
It's
will
a
come in
decent
handy.
place to also find matches sometimes. And as you just saw, I apparently pulled a parka, which isn't all that bad. It's not really good at this point because I'm already wearing a parka and we've got a bear coat. But if you'd come here earlier, that would have been a good find. Quickly scan things. We found a cooking skillet. Leave that on the stove. Not gonna carry around cooking skillets. Not seeing on any of the counters a can opener, which at this point is fine. I have a knife when the can opener runs out, but this is a pretty common place you can find a can opener. This and the farm center, those are the two places you go for can openers. We found a carrot. A carrot and the ruined potato from last episode kind of go together, so we'll probably leave them both here.
Hope I can still eat this.
Not too worried about well,
I could
I've
use
been
this.
finding food, right? So I'm not necessarily worried about running out of food. And when we do make it through to Pleasant Valley's got our moose and bear meat from earlier, so food is not really an issue. It's just about not running out before we get where we're going. So I'll probably end up leaving the food that I have to cook behind, just to save on weight. And this is again another place I frequently come and check on the way through, just to see what goodies I left myself as I went through earlier. We're gonna come in the middle floor here where it's easy to find things later. We're gonna drop off things that we're not gonna use on this path through. We might want later. I suppose I might take a moment and repair not the parka, but the decent ski jacket. Sounds like, well, I won't have a confirmation until I can step out and see if it's actually made the blizzard go away. Doesn't really sound like the blizzard gone away. So yeah, I think in all ways this is either tied or an upgrade on the decent parka. So this is definitely a better improvement for the inner. And then if you compare that to the bear coat, right, it's pound per pound or kilogram per kilogram, it is definitely better than the bear coat, but you can only wear two coats. So as a best in slot option, it's probably not best in slot. But at the moment, it's a pretty good second in slot, so I'm not complaining too much. Okay, well, blizzard's still going. So I'm gonna have to set out for the next objective in the blizzard, which will be fine. Oh, I'm gonna leave the salt here as well. For the other cooking stuff.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
it's probably a little bit of a long walk from here to the coal mine. If I'm desperate, I can probably do that in the blizzard. But I will definitely take damage doing that in the blizzard. Ooh, more oats. Ruined potatoes? I'll probably head back over to the community office where we're head off. Just leave potato behind. More water purification tablets. If I'm desperate for a bunch of water, that's pretty good. Basically allows you to double the rate at which you make water. Because you don't have to boil it to purify it, you can just boil to melt it.
Someone's stash.
And then once it's melted, you can then use water purification tablets, which basically halves the amount of time it takes to turn snow into water. Maybe not necessarily worth the carrying capacity to drag around. Prepared.
I wonder who owns this stuff.
Okay, that's don't think that's an appropriate chatter. So I'm getting a warning that the chatter who's just put a message in chat is likely a harasser. And is saying something cheap viewers, so I think he's the guy who tries to
Too
get
heavy.
you to buy views. Which I'm not going to participate in, so he's going to get ignored. Anyway, I'll figure out how to make it so that Twitch doesn't let him post again in the future. Later. But if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to let me know. Feel free to let me know if you've got any questions on game mechanics that I can share with you. I think engaging with real viewers is far more useful than engaging with people that are trying to sell views. Might try to sleep till the blizzard out, because our character's starting to get a bit fatigued. And taking a short or medium length sleep will probably help with getting our fatigue back for making it more efficient to walk, and it's a slightly productive way to pass the blizzard. Okay, so the blizzard is passed.
Something's gotta go.
Our character is reasonably warm for the cold that is the Long Dark. Next stop is the mine, assuming I don't run into the bear. There is sometimes a bear on this area over here. And I've definitely been mauled by this bear before. Though usually it's been on Stalker when I get mauled, and not on Interloper. So as we can see, the house on the right here is non-existent. Sometimes on Interloper it will be there. And these two houses on the left are boarded up. I don't have a pry bar, so I'm not going to interact too much with the cars. Looking at the ruins of this house to see if there's any useful loot next to it. The answer appears to be no. Can take a slight shortcut here, cutting off the corner to go up to the mine. I see the bear out of the corner of my eyes? Yes. So there's the bear. I've been mauled by that bear before. Not fun when that happens. Little overweight due to all the crafting goods I'm carrying. So I got 4 deer hide, bunch of scrap metal, a couple guts, so on and so forth. But with how our character's starting to whine about how cold it is, but we should get to the mine before we actually take any more damage. And then the trip down from the mine to the Coastal Highway Quonset garage should be fairly quick if I take the right vector. So you can see sign saying mining road this way, so this is the way up to the mine. If you're a little bit more worried about getting lost, where I cut the corner off, instead you can follow the road, and you'll hit a place where sort of a dirt road forks off of the paved road, and that road leads up to here. So it's a longer way around, but it's, especially in poor visibility, it's a lot easier to not get lost if you go that way. And in poor visibility, it's the direction I take a lot, so because the visibility was good, I was willing to take the risk, and also because the warmth was good, I was willing to take the risk of taking the shortcut. But if the visibility was anyway poor, I'd probably take the slightly longer way. There's also, if you take the longer way, a slight detour you can take into a cave to warm up in. Not an interior cave, but a basic exterior cave like we took near, or we went into near the radio tower a couple episodes ago. So here's the coal mine. Partially boarded up, but at the same time unboarded enough that we can
I'm gonna have
pass
to
through.
leave something behind.
I think this end of the cave we didn't loot the first time through. Well, I suppose the first time we were here. We didn't actually travel through, which is why we didn't loot this side of the cave. Basically, I hit maximum carry capacity and then backed off and went the other direction. I'll triage the inventory when I get to the far side of the cave, as we'll probably be a bit heavy with coal by then.
I think I can use this.
Antibiotics. A little bit more usable than the painkillers we found in a different episode. See if I can get up like that over the piece of wood in the way. Taking a couple stones, because if my memory serves, I was a little low on stones from checking them in at rapids earlier. Pair of worn Spartan socks. I think they're inferior to the socks I currently have. Yeah. I think they're the most common type of socks, but lower quality than the wool socks I got on right now. I think there's climbing socks that are really rare on Interloper. That would be best in slot. But their rarity sort of keeps them unfeasible for reliably finding.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
carrying hex
Just
on
what I
me, so
need.
I'll bring the hacksaw with me. And apparently we searched here partially, but yet missed the candy bar. This was a roundabout where we turned back, so it might have been I was deciding that was enough fuel and stopped searching as aggressively. So I suppose now, if you're watching this, it's probably a good time to put in any comments you want as far as which areas to explore and map first. We're about reaching the point in the run where we're going to start focusing on mapping instead of focusing on survival, because we've got most of the survival needs stuff complete at this point. So other than trying to mass produce oil to keep the lantern going, and mass produce food while it's sunny in various biomes, the character is pretty much met the minimum survival needs and has a lot of the warmth crafting done at this point. Which I suppose is also pretty good, because it's about as cold as it's going to get at this point, right? So that's why it's cold out while we're even in bare hide is. Because we've let Interloper cool it as much as it's going to cool. So there's certain zones you want to see mapped first. Feel free to leave a comment about that. I think it might be about 2 weeks ahead on the recording right now, so it may not be the first place that gets mapped. But if I see your comment, I'll probably move it up in the mapping schedule. Or at least try to move it up the mapping schedule. There's some places where if you ask go map the far territories where, yeah, asking that will get them moved up, but I'm not going to go straight there because a lot of the stuff that I know is not in the far territories. So I'm going to have to do lots of emergency stockpiling between there and here and there, just for safety's sake. Which means I won't travel straight out there. I'll have to, like, kill a bear in the muskeg to put a food stockpile there. I'll have to kill a bunch of animals in the broken railway and stuff like that. So in an emergency, I've got places to stop on the way back for recovery purposes. Because I doubt anyone at this point wants to see the run just end if you're watching along. And sort of being a little too cavalier and running off into the unknown is probably a good way to get it to end abnormally soon. And I have mapped everywhere in the base game with the exception of Blackrock on Stalker. So I do know my way around most of the map. There's a bunch of sticks here. Obviously can't take 43 coal with us, so we're going to leave like 23 coal here at least. Even that's probably not enough to be left behind. Eat the chocolate bar. Drink the water. Need to do a little bit of inventory. Probably want to get it down to like 45 for the walk down. So I suppose leaving a bunch of torches behind is probably another good idea. 6, 10, yeah, let's leave everything below 47%. Leave those behind. We don't need that glove. I need those socks. Don't need the canister. I'd rather leave the painkillers and stuff like that at the garage. And okay, that means the rest of the weight needs to come out in coal. So we need to leave like 8 coal behind. Yeah, okay. And with that, we should be good to go down to the mine. Or leave the mine down to
Too much stuff to carry.
the Coastal Highway.
Feels like night is coming.
I think on this trip, the only thing I need to be worried about potentially running into... Well, actually. Let's say the only thing I need to worry about running into is the bear. Then I remembered the last thing we killed in Coastal Highway is the bear. So, in particular, the bear we would run into. So there's a decent probability there isn't anything I really need to worry about running into, because it may still technically be a corpse. And we're losing warmth a little bit faster than I would like, but this is a fairly short trip because it's downhill. So even being slowed down by carrying so much, we should get there before we get too cold. Well, we might get cold enough to take damage, but we shouldn't take a lot of damage. So there's the turn up to the fire lookout. See the fire lookout there? We're walking away from it. If it was colder, I might dip in there to warm up, but the plan right now is to get down to the garage. Not much to say right now. Trying to find words to fill the void. Otherwise, right now it's just a slow, quiet walk down to the garage. I'm not necessarily walking the most optimally here. It's because I'm taking a moment to drink some tea. Because my tea-holding hand is the hand I steer with. It makes taking the shortest path sometimes a little difficult while drinking tea at the same time. Well, that's not a through path. I was hoping that would be a through path. Oops. Oh, come on, let me out. Oh, well, we're gonna have to figure out how to make this a through path.
Can't feel my hands.
Okay, it was through path enough. I was worried for a while and got myself stuck. I have enough of a sense of the direction to frequently get myself into trouble, as you can see. And I'm trying to cut the corners in the switchbacks on the way down to the garage. So the garage is like directly in front of us at this point. It's just, it's down a steep slope. That's steeper than I want to go down.
So cold. Just want to lay down for a bit.
think this is the area where we harvested all the acorns that we have right now. Is from this area right here. I'm gonna sprint a bit. I'm not worried about the fatigue, and I know I have food where I'm going. This should be where the moose pile is. Or did I just walk right past it? I may have just walked right past it. Here we go. Cooked moose meat. Om nom nom. If anything, we're a little bit low on water. Which, I suppose I know where water is. There's a bunch of water out on Misanthrope Island. There's a wolf on the far side of the garage, but he's on the far side of the garage, and we're on this side of the door.
I'm not sure I can carry
There's also a door on
much
his
more.
side, but, you know, wolves don't have opposable thumbs. So, one cured muse side. This is the pile of coal, so I'm going to dump most of the coal here. And yeah, looks like the thing we're short on is water. That bear hide is not done yet. Oh, with how close that bear hide is done, it will probably be done by the time we are done with the moose hide satchel. Okay, it may be bright enough in the morning to start crafting. If it isn't, then I'll probably take the time to go... Oh, cardboard box. Bed. Oh, you're there, bed. Come on, there you are. It may be... I might take the time to go get the water that we've got on the island if it's not bright enough to start crafting. It should actually be bright enough to start crafting. It might not be good lighting to get the crafting spot, but
Tongue feels like
it
sandpaper.
isn't very bright enough. Okay. So, we now have all we need to make the moose hide satchel. Oh, there's plenty of guts here. The moose hide satchel is going to prioritize over the what? Deer pants? Yeah, over the deer pants. 10 hours will almost certainly dehydrate the character, but we can take a little bit of condition damage and it'll be fine. Okay, so now this presents the difficult choice. Do I keep wearing the crampons?
All I could think about is
Or do
food.
I keep wearing the ear wraps? For the moment, I'm gonna probably hold on to both of them, but I'm only gonna wear. I have to be picky with which one I wear. Our character obviously right now is dehydrated. I don't remember if we had any water nearby, or if all the water is out on the island. It is late in the afternoon, so as long as the blizzard doesn't kick up, we shouldn't have too much of a cold problem. So we need to. Walking out to get the water shouldn't be that bad. And obviously, now that we got the suicide satchel, we've got lots of carrying capacity. As long as we maintain well fed, we've got 45 kilograms of carrying capacity. Which I think is the best you can get without temporary buffs from food. There's a holster that lowers the weight of weapons, guns particularly. But obviously that doesn't, you know, help in gun-free interloper. Leave any water at the bear meat? No. Okay, so all the water's out in Misanthropes. It sounds like it may make a transition to a blizzard. Yeah, that's a blizzard. Do I want to take the trip in a blizzard?
So thirsty I can't think straight.
So the other question is, can I safely not make the trip in a blizzard? And the answer would be yes if you cook. Alright, so I can make water. The only closing slot we're empty on is we got one ant slot. Okay, this is gonna get our character cold. We're gonna take a decent amount of damage doing it. We're gonna run out to Misanthropes, and that's where we're gonna, after we pick up the water, that's where we're gonna end the episode. Right now the blizzard is playing nice and is blowing in the direction we're going. But as you can see, it's very rapidly eating away our cold bar.
Can't feel my feet.
So our destination here should just be pretty much a straight shot until we hit the island. If we hit the actual water, we've gone too far. Yeah, okay, that's about full sprint bar. It's a little bit too soon to get a full sprint bar, but basically right now we're trying to do our best to basically run it in a straight line. an island. Not the island I think I want. This is the wrong island. That should be fairly easy to fix. I was going to run to the other one. And some beachcombing in the blizzard. So if you recognize where we are from us being here before when there isn't a blizzard, I missed, got the vector slightly wrong and hit Jackrabbit Island instead of Misanthrope's Island. So when we stop losing condition damage to not having any water, we'll take the water from here as well. A bunch of meat here. And next stop is Misanthrope's. I got a big pile of water at the bottom of the climb up from this side of Misanthrope's. Looking at the time, this will be a slightly long episode again. Trying to get things done in a productive manner means sometimes I'm going to overshoot a little bit. I want to keep them around 30 minutes, 40 minutes being sort of the upper limit, and we'll probably get there in 40. There's my pile of water. In the backpack water. All the water in the backpack. We're only over carrying capacity right now because we're so fatigued. I'll show you how much the fatigue is applying when we get in the building.
If I can drop any of this gear.
Oh, actually, we're the one liter over, right? So, if we weren't fatigued, we'd have 55 kilograms of carrying capacity. Because we are fatigued, it's gone down to 41. And once I start this rest, this is where I'm gonna end the video. At least as far as YouTube. Twitch, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Actually, what is the time? Yeah, we'll go ahead and pause it, or go ahead and mute it for a moment while I deal with the spammer in chat that YouTube doesn't get to see, but if you're watching it on the VOD, you'll probably see. Apparently sleeps straight into an aurora. But that's where I'm going to put a cut in as far as YouTube's concerned. So catch you, YouTube, tomorrow. And Twitch, I'll be back shortly after a quick mute.